How to make a palisade gate. So continuing our Edoras Outpost scenery guide, we move on to the openable gate. So this is a really simple design. There are a couple of fiddly bits in there and a couple of bits that are slightly time consuming, but other than that, it's nice and simple. So let's get into how to do it.
So I started out by drawing a scale design of this drawing. So it starts at the same height roughly as the balustrades, and then it's going to go up here. There'll be a walkway angled up, go flat, and then it will go down again. And this central section will be a gate. So once I've drawn that to scale, I roughly cut out these bits of bamboo dowel to match the picture. I will now sharpen all of the ones here and try and put them back in the same order. Not going to sharpen the gate ones though.
This is one side of the gate with the spikes cut out. So what I've done here is I've lined them all up, and I've lined them all up in line with the bottom of the mat. And I'm just moving a couple to one side. I've then cut 4 sticks which are going to be long enough to cover the whole thing. A ruler on top. Essentially I'm going to stick some cross pieces down. I'm going to make sure that we're overlapping in that direction. And then I'm going to do another bead, just making sure that it overlaps. And then I'm going to do a similar thing up high, just like that. Solid, ready to in order to pick it up. We've got 2 other pieces. These 2 pieces need to be stuck down as well. So we want a gap between the ones we've just done and the other 2. I've put a full length piece here. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on each bit here. Good thing about working with a hot glue gun is you will get a little bit of work time, so we'll make sure that gets to the same height and then remove that out. You want to do exactly the same thing with the other side of this as well. We're going to be doing a very similar thing with these. So these pieces are the door, or the gate I should say. So like that. And once again we're going to just push a couple of them out of the way. And I'm going to move this one nice and close. That's because we want to be able to mimic these positions here. Now we're going to take our couple of extra pieces, and then we're going to do the same thing as we did on the last bit by just making this long bit to make sure there's a gap. The long bit is remove the long bit, and that's done. So this will actually have to be, like I said, this is the door for that side. But I'm going to do the same with the other side of this and the other door. So that's what they look like once they are done, and from here just clipping off the excess. Do that with all of them, and then you need to measure this distance between the kind of 2nd and 3rd rungs, and then cut a piece of this to fit that. Just there. But essentially you want to make that, and then you want to have gaps there and there. And now I'm looking at that, I'm probably going to do that one too, just because it's staring at me. Stop looking at me! So this is complete, this is complete, this is complete, this is complete, and I've set them up in this thing, and I've lined up the shorter ones across there. These 2 side pieces and the top bit into one piece. So we're going to have one bit going all the way across all of them. And this has structural purpose, it doesn't have, so something like that will be perfect. And it should then all operate as one single piece like that. So for the walkway part, I've got a strip here. This is 40mm wide, and the walkway's going to go up, it's going to go across, and it's going to go down again. So I'm going to start by measuring up. It's going to be, I'll cut that line there, and I'm going to cut that line, and I'll be doing basically the same on the other side, and we'll have our 3 pieces for the walkways. So I've cut this slot into here, so this fits along there, and I know that this goes up to the mark I put here, and this goes like this, and I've cut some slots here so that it fits around these, which will be good for adding extra support. In terms of where they go, you can be quite clever with this because of the foam we're using. Now this angle here that's on this piece is the bit that wasn't from there. So what you can do is you can place this up to there like that, so you can just press down. And what that does is that puts marks exactly where we need to remove a little bit of the foam. So there's going to be a bit here. I'm not really trying to be clever about this one. It's just a small amount that needs taking out, so it fits around that. And this one here, I mean, it's nearly big enough already, so what I'm going to do is just cut a V shape like that, just a little channel, and I'm going to do the same just a little bit lower down. It will then just slot around those absolutely perfectly. This needs to be a tiny bit deeper, but other than that, perfect. So I have sanded the shiny side of these, and now I'm just going to go over this with a wire brush to create some wood type texture, so you can see the difference there, hopefully. So as with the other ones, once you have got your wood detail in, you can make it look more like planks or wood by adding some lines of a biro. It's not about the ink, it's about you're just creating some depth to it. So you can do that, and you can do some cross pieces as well. I've done it the other ones, I've done some just literally pressing in a couple of times to do nail holes. A line like that, as if there's planks here, but there's a supporting thing going across here like that. To provide some more support for it and to make it look a bit more like it's a real thing, and so it actually balances. I got this is about a centimetre square on the cross section, and I'm going to create a post here that goes up to the end of that, and I'm going to do the same thing to a distance along there, cutting the angle off, so there'll be a bit there, there'll be a bit there, and then I think a cross section between the two, joining them up. Kind of dealer's choice on that, but starting with working out exactly how high that needs to be. So all my pieces cut and ready, so I'm now going to paint this with just cheap brown paint, probably going to require 2 coats, so the next time you see this it will be painted.
So I'll show you how to attach the gates, about as far from rocket science as it gets. All of this stuff at the start was so that we could create what's essentially is a hinge. Match that up, and all I've done is the most simple of double knots. And do the same thing on the other side, and then what we'll do is just snip off the excess. So it wants to be tight, but not too tight. If it's too tight, it won't be able to move the gate at all. The beauty of having these cutouts is it means we can position them really easily. So a bit of hot glue down there. We know this is going to go up to the edge here. All of the slots just meet up perfectly, and just hold that for just a second. This one, just the same. A bit along the edge there, generous along here, and then just slot it in so it rests nicely, and then finally so I'm going to go back to our trusty super glue with this. one here, holding it up against there like that. Attach one, and another one slightly lower down. Something like that. And I'll do the same on the other side.
And there we have it. That is how I made the Palisade gate for my Edoras Outpost scenery. Really hope you've enjoyed this video. I do think it's nice and simple. If you have any questions, and drop them in the comments. And if you want to know how to do the rest of the things, well, there are already videos about how to make the Palisades and the Rohan Watchtower. The Edoras gate is coming very soon. So please like this video if you've liked it. Please leave any comments and subscribe to the channel for more good enough scenery. Catch you for another video soon.